So I'm joined on a very rainy Tuesday Fife Cup semi-final of East Fife with Cowdenbeath striker Kris Renton. So Kris, thanks for joining us today on Blue Brazil TV. I look back at your kind of history, and apparently you're the youngest player to ever play for Norwich City in the Premier League.
Aye, it was actually the Championship.
The Championship?
Championship, it was. I moved down to Norwich when I was 15 and made my first team debut when I was 16, probably about 8 or 9 months after I moved down, so it was an amazing time in my life, but kind of surreal.
So how did you get picked up? How did Norwich find out about you?
Well, I always wanted to go down to England because my brother had done that.
Mm-hmm.
So the way he done it is he stayed at boys club football for as long as he could until he had to go full time. And then he went down to Blackburn Rovers. So I seen what they had down in England, the facilities, things like that. So it's something I always wanted to do. So I realised that was the best path: stay at boys club football for as long as possible. And then when the time came to leave school, I had a couple of offers, and I ended up moving down to Norwich. So it was good.
It's a nice town. It's in the Carrow Road, if I remember, right bang in the centre of the town, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right next to the train station.
I remember parking there, nearly getting a parking ticket once I was heading off to. So I luckily managed to get away with it. So unfortunately, despite that debut, you had a really horrific injury.
Aye, about, I think it was 4 months after I made my first team debut and stuff, I ended up playing for the reserves. I broke my leg, my tib and fib against Chelsea reserves, which was a massive setback for. At the time I done that, I was 17-year-old. For us, I just struggled to cope with that, from a high in making my first team debut to the low of breaking my leg. It was kind of hard to deal with for me.
It must have been, I mean, as you say, mentally, it must have been really, really tough. You think you're on the cusp and you're about to making something like that happen. It's horrific. So, I think after that, in part of your rehab, you were loaned out to various clubs back up in Scotland. Did it just not quite feel the same anymore? Or?
Nah, I really struggled to get my fitness back. I was homesick down in Norwich, being injured for so long. Like I said, I was 17-year-old, so it was hard to. I didn't know, without playing football, I was doing nothing down there, just doing rehab all the time. So got really homesick. A chance came to come along up the road, and myself in my head I knew I shouldn't have done it because I was nowhere near fit enough. I was still obviously picking up loads of knocks from injury, nowhere near sharp, but because I was homesick I decided to do it, which looking back now is the bad decision to make, but at the time it's what I wanted to do and what felt right. So
well, it's often hard. I mean, I can look on and think some of the decisions I made when I was 17-year-old, I probably wouldn't make the same mistakes again. So I kind of really get that. And then, so you kind of say that explains quite a lot of the fitness side of it. And you eventually ended up dropping down into juniors. And what I've heard from a few people I know that follow the juniors was you started to kind of hit form a bit there and be noticed again.
Like I said, I wasn't fit when I went on loan to clubs, and I actually asked to get my contract at Norwich ripped up early, so I got 6 months of my contract ripped up and sorted out. So I just went to my local team, which was Musselburgh Athletic, and even there it took me a long time. Probably took me 6 months to get fit with just playing games, and I was lucky enough that the manager just stuck with me and believed that the fitness and sharpness would come back, and it eventually did. So I started enjoying my football again, which to me is the most important thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard a lot from one of the guys who worked for me, he's a big Bonus fan, and he used to rave about you and said when you first came to Cowdenbeath, they were really disappointed because they'd hoped that they were going to pick you up. He was a big, huge fan, so In terms of the move to Cowdenbeath, how did that, so from the juniors, the next thing you know, you're back into the senior game playing at Cowdenbeath, how did that come about?
Well, to be fair, I wasn't doing as good as what I could have been. I was kind of losing my appetite for football again, and I'd put on a bit of weight and stuff, but then I got a phone call saying that Cowdenbeath would be interested, and it just kind of gave me the buzz back a wee bit. So got myself fit, and obviously signed a 1-year deal at Cowdenbeath, which was probably one of the, although we finished bottom of the league, it's probably one of the most enjoyable seasons of football.
Yeah, I think you stood out in that team. It was a very difficult season for us, and I think you were a bit of a shining light, and so much so that it kind of led to you getting the chance to move on to Alloa. And I think Alloa seemed to be a bit of a mixed bunch. How was your experience there?
I loved it. Really enjoyed it at Alloa. It was a great team, really good team, really good bunch of boys. Manager was brilliant. Had a really good. I really enjoyed it. I was in and out the team all the time I was there, but like I said, I really enjoyed my football there. We had a great team and great management team.
You took them up into the championship as well. So again, thinking back to the days of when you were maybe back at Musselburgh, it was probably quite hard to visualise taking a team up into the championship at that point.
Definitely. When I spent that all in the juniors, just kind of plodding along, going through the motions. I never thought we'd get the chance to get a promotion up to the championship, and I was lucky enough last season to get that, it was brilliant. Felt really good.
So, and then it kind of goes full circle again. At the start of this season, Gary Boland brings you back to Cowdenbeath. How did that come about?
Well, I know Fozzie from Norwich, so I spoke to him a couple of times, and I knew that they were going to be interested. And like I said, I really enjoyed my time at Cowdenbeath the last time I was here, so it was kind of an easy decision for me to come back. It's not went as well as I'd hoped, but it's one of the things that just need to get on me and get the head down and focus again.
So you say it's not going quite. How would you kind of judge your own season personally? This season, how would you feel?
Not great at all, to be honest. I struggled to get fit at the start of the season, really struggled to get fit, and then I wasn't in the team at all, getting 15-20 minutes here and there, which I was frustrated at, not like frustrated at myself, because I wasn't doing the business. I started playing in the team, started doing okay, but my form's just not been anywhere near as good as what I'd hoped. I know that myself. I'm frustrated about it, but there's one thing that I just need to do, and that's get the head back down and work to get back to how I know I can play.
Well, I noticed a kind of turnaround. I think you struggled to find yourself when you first came back. I think you're right about the fitness thing. You didn't look much fit, and then there seemed to be a turning point where you were featuring more, and I could see you coming more and more into a game, and I think that culminated with your first goal, which was down at Annan.
Yeah.
And again, and I think ever since then it's fair to say that you've maybe not produced as many goals as you would like to, but I think the effort's been there week in, week out. That certainly, not from me watching in the stands, you don't lack any effort. You maybe need a wee break and a wee bit of luck sometimes, and that's sometimes difficult in football.
That's one thing that I can always promise I'll give, and that's 100%. No matter how my performance is going, I'll always give everything I've got for the team. Like I said, I've not been happy with a lot of performances this season, but I can guarantee that I've put everything I've got into the game still, even though my performance maybe hasn't been the best.
Well, I know myself, and maybe a lot of fans don't know that. I know that towards probably leading up to the Rangers game, there were a number of games you'd actually played when you were injured, but you were playing through the injury, which again I think echoes what you're saying about giving commitment there. Unfortunately, you find yourself injured again, but to an extent that you're not able to play. Unfortunately, what's the current situation for you, Kris?
It's one of them that I have been playing through an injury for quite a long time now. It's got to the stage it is really affecting me. affected my performances, and it's one of them that I think I've spoke to the physio team, and we just need to rest just now and basically take it week by week and see how it comes. Hopefully I'll be able to play again this season. I'm confident I'll be able to play again this season, but right now it's just rest.
Yeah, I think if there is such a thing as a good time, it's probably, the club, unlike previous 2 seasons, were relatively safe. There's probably not a lot to play for thus far, so it's maybe as good a time that you are getting the chance to rest. You're not under as much pressure to get fit as quickly or get back onto the pitch. So Kris, I know you're on a 2-year deal with the club, and hopefully that means we'll see you back in fit next season. Have you any message to the Cowdenbeath fans just now that you'd like to pass out?
Just basically thanks for the support. Been good all season. Obviously we're not happy with the way the seasons went. We wanted to be even higher, even though we're higher than we were last season and the season before. But next season I think we're going to go and push again. That's the aim anyway. That's what the boys are aiming for, and I know the fans will be wanting that as well.
Okay, and I take it there's a good spirit in the changing room. The guys are keen to kick on.
Aye, definitely. All the boys are buzzing. Like I said, the last couple of seasons haven't been good at all. This season, a little bit better, but still not how the management team and the squad want to be. So yeah, definitely pushing on next season.
Brilliant. Well, here's hoping for bigger and better things next season, Kris, and hoping to see you back in the blue of Cowdenbeath again very soon. Thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you very much.